Well, I'm sure you had options of places to go. Why here?
Coach Beck, the OC, offensive coordinator here, we had a really good relationship in high school. He offered me in high school, and I knew the person he was recruiting me, and I think that was a big part in all this. And then when I took my visit here, got in the room with Coach Lee, and just the way he spoke and the wisdom that he put on me was just unbelievable, something that I've never been a part of. So, I knew leaving that office that this was probably going to be home for me. And, the decision I made is, I love it. So.
You said you knew Coach Beck in high school. Just talk about where that relationship originated. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So he was at TCU at the time when I was in high school, and I got that offer from TCU throughout my recruiting process in high school. And just the way, we talked over the phone, we created a really close relationship really quickly. We talk about relatedness a lot, and, even back then, I feel like we related to each other a lot. He talked to my parents a ton, and they loved him as well. Obviously, my parents was another responsibility in, making my decision. If they loved him, I loved him as well, vice versa. And so that went into it a lot as well. But just overall, who Coach Beck is as a person was really eye-opening to me.
You're described as being a little vocal. Is that pretty accurate?
I try to. I feel like first I got to show on the field that I'm capable of, showing the guys that I can do the right thing at all times. Before you're vocal, there's a time and a place to be a leader. And I think you need to gain trust and respect from the guys before you can kind of like tell them what to do, or not even really tell them what to do, but just help them out. Whether it's their alignment, the route they're running, or whatever. I've been in college now for 4 years, and I don't feel like I have, I still feel young, but I guess I'm now kind of an old head now, I guess you could say. So I've been through it. I've had some peers that I've looked up to and learned from. So now I'm just implementing that in my game and, to these younger guys.
From the other perspective of being a younger guy, how important is it to have a guy, like Diego was this to this team last year? How important is it, things that we don't see, to have somebody in the locker room, who will stand up and say something, and, hold guys accountable, or whatever the case may be?
Absolutely. I think it's huge to have that role model, especially as a young guy. For me at Alabama, it was Jeremy Bernard. I looked up to him a ton in our receiver room. And not only did he teach me a lot about football and routes and stuff, but he taught me a lot of stuff off the field about being a good person, being a man of God. And, I think you can be a role model on the field, but also off the field. Like I said, with God and everything that goes into that, I feel like just having a role model that you can look up to is huge, especially as a young guy. Like I know I keep repeating that, but I think that's huge.
You mentioned your faith a lot. That's something I hear your teammates mention a lot. Was that a selling point when you came here?
Always. I'm always looking to better my faith and to get more information about faith from the people that I'm coming into. Jamarcus Shepard, my receivers coach back at Alabama, him and Jeremy Bernard, those two guys really helped me exploit my faith a lot more, and I think I've gotten more comfortable with my faith, so it's helped me talk a lot more about it to other people and not just within myself, So I think that's huge. Having guys that love the Lord, I think is only going to make you better as a person overall.
Speaking on that, how has that helped translate to the football world and helping you out in this space as well?
Right. I would say, football has a lot to do physically, but also a lot to do mentally as well. And, I think when I explored my life with Christ a lot more and got deeper with Christ, it also helped me mentally with football. It helped me mature a lot quicker as a person and a player. And I think that's the biggest thing I could tell you is that the Lord's helped me to mature and see the world, through a different view. And it's not just about, doing good on the field or doing good things off the field. It's about being a good person and, being a role model to the younger guys to show them that, it's not all about football. It's also about Christ and just who you are off the field as a person.
2 years ago, picture back a few years ago, you were at Alabama. Did you ever imagine you'd be standing at Vanderbilt? I mean, because at the time when you were at Alabama, Vanderbilt's not what it's becoming.
Right.
I mean, does it surprise you that you're standing here today from perspective of a few years ago?
100%, absolutely. I made that commitment in high school to go to Alabama, and I'm really big on commitment. I feel like a lot of people don't take the word commitment as it used to be with this new day and age. So I took that to heart for sure. But, things do change, and you got to do at some point what's best for yourself. And obviously Vanderbilt, they're absolutely on the come up, and you can see Coach Lee and what he's done these past 5 years. You know, this is Team 6 now, and you know, when people look at Vanderbilt, we're looking to be a playoff team every single year, be a national championship team every single year. And I think that we're gonna, you know, they've showed that the past 2 years, and this third year is definitely gonna be an eye-opener as well for the fans and everyone watching us.
You played them twice from the other sideline. What was that like when you watched them from that perspective?
Yes, sir. 2 years ago when we came to Vanderbilt, you know, there was more Alabama fans in the stands than there were Vanderbilt. And, you know, they whooped our butt. You know what I'm saying? They whooped our butt. And I was, you know, not only was I in awe, but I was just like, look at these guys. Like, it was pretty cool from the opposite side of the field to see the relatedness and the brotherhood that those guys, you know, it doesn't matter who you're playing. You know, you go out there and play your butt off, and, you know, who knows what happens between those white lines, and anything can happen, you know. And that was the first time where I really looked at Vanderbilt and I was like, these guys got something good going on. So.
Did you have any sense before that game 2 years ago that you guys might be in for it?
Absolutely not. No.
They don't think that way in Tuscaloosa, do they?
Honestly, no. Honestly, no. But they taught me something that day, you know, and it humbled me for sure. But you know, it's made me to the man I am today. And if that wouldn't happen, you know, maybe I wouldn't have been here. So, like I said, everything happens for a reason, and God's good. So.
What about this offense made it the right fit for you?
Just like I said, Coach Beck, and obviously you've seen they were the top 5 offensive scoring team in the nation last year. And that was a big part of it for me as well. Obviously, every quarterback here has great arms and a great ability on the field. They're all super smart, and I'm really excited to see what they can do. They've all showed a lot throughout these 4 practices, but you know, there's a lot more to go. So let's see who can be the most consistent, you know.